All right, let's talk about content analysis. At the beginning of the year, we looked at a sample essay that was doing a content analysis of Instagram posts about cake. So what I have here is her appendix. These charts that she created are kind of to outline her process, what she was looking for, how she defined different things. So I thought this was a good place for us to start because this is exactly where you should start too in completing a content analysis. So the first thing that this writer did, and the first thing that you do, is kind of figure out as I go into the content, so the sources, the interviews, the videos, the audio, whatever you're doing a content analysis of, I need to have some idea of what I'm looking for, right? For her, she started by looking at different visual characteristics. Now in hers, if we skim very quickly, she looked for a ton of different visual characteristics. Different topics are going to have different needs in terms of how many characteristics you kind of lay out or pick to start that research. But examples would be like if I was going to do a content analysis of AP scores at Cheyenne, I might have, these might be the different AP courses that are offered, right? I'm going to start by looking at AP Language, AP Euro, AP US History, how I would divide that up. It could also be I'm looking for scores. I could break it down into multiple choice sections versus written sections or written response. But those would be examples of kind of that first step. What is the characteristic? What is the strategy? What is the topic that I'm going to seek out in all of this content that I need to find? From there, I need to define what do I mean by that. So for her, she had the layers of cake for her first characteristic. Right here then, she explains what do I mean when I say that. So for example, if I'm doing a content analysis of AP scores again, and I guess the first column thing I'm looking for is, like I said, multiple choice questions, I would define what that is next. What do I mean when I say a multiple choice question? That's so that someone else seeing my research understands what I mean by that, but also so that I know what I'm looking for in terms of that. So I might kind of see like what language is on the score reports I'm going to look at for my content analysis so that I'm always looking at the right place. Then from there, what she did is she went in and broke it into, it says categories, but I think it's more subcategories. So within that larger category, what are the smaller groups that I need to look at? So for her, when we're talking layers of cake, she has 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 6 or more layers for her to be looking at and considering. So again, using my multiple choice example, if I am going into AP test scores and looking at multiple choice, and I've defined it here, I might then break it into AP Language scores, AP US History scores, ... to kind of get those subcategories. The purpose of this is so that I have a thought process of what I'm going to look for when I dig into a lot of different content, reports, interviews, videos, whatever that might be. Okay? So let's kind of look at that in terms of like a step-by-step here. The first thing you'll want to do when you are approaching your content analysis is to identify those big categories. So this is strategies you might be looking for. It might be topics. It might be methods. You might be looking at patterns that you anticipate to see. It might be, what's another good example? Let me think here for a second. It might be terms or phrases you want to keep track of. It might be types of something. The big categories are really just what are the big things I need to look for and what would I be looking for in that. The next step then is to define each of those so that you have a very clear idea of what you're looking for. So for example, if I'm going to do marketing research and I'm going to go into a whole bunch of commercials and I'm going to look for the expert testimony as one of my categories, because that's a strategy, right, that marketing people use. I'm going to define, what do I mean when I say the word expert testimony? What does it look like? What am I going to see? So I have a very consistent definition of what that's going to look like. From there, the next step is to identify any subcategories. So, for example, I was just using my expert testimony in a marketing commercial. A subcategory of that might be like doctor expert testimony. It might be celebrity expert testimony, right? There's different kinds even within that I might want to narrow it down to. So for your content analysis, you want to think about, what are these big things? So let's just kind of go over the example one more time. If I'm doing marketing research on commercials for cell phones, for example, I'm going to look at celebrity endorsement. Sorry, I'll put this here so that's my example. Celebrity endorsements. Did I spell celebrity endorsements? Use of statistics. Customer testimony. Those would be categories. There would probably be more if I was actually doing a research like this. But from there, I'd want to define, for example, what is a celebrity endorsement? So in me, it would be the appearance or voice even, I suppose, or voice. Oops, my color changed on me, weird. Or voice of a well-known individual, such as an actor, athlete, YouTuber, and I would go on to define essentially what a celebrity is, right? So for here, I've clarified, I'm not only looking for maybe the appearance of them, but I'm also saying that even a voiceover counts as a celebrity endorsement. So really specifying what I would be looking for and how that might show up in the commercial. Then for subcategories of celebrity endorsements, I might split it up, right? Visual appearance, maybe just the image of a celebrity, voiceover. Again, just kind of demonstrating the different subcategories that might exist. Now, I would do this then for every single category of my research so that I had a very clear, like I said, here are the big things I'm looking for. Here is what I am going to see or what I am looking for when I say I'm looking for that, right? Specifically, what is the text going to look like? What idea am I going to see? Maybe what are some synonyms that might be associated with that? And then within that category, are there subcategories of things that I might see as well? So when we're talking about a content analysis, a lot of your work needs to happen up front so they have a clear, one, definition of what you're looking for, which is this, but also you have some sort of method of documenting that.